Brian Schottenheimer is the new Dallas Cowboys head coach. Clayton Adams, the new offensive coordinator. Connor Riley is the new offensive line coach, which means no more Mike McCarthy, no more Mike Solari, no more bad offense. Hopefully no more bad offense, because maybe, just maybe, Schottenheimer can use these players in a way that makes them successful. Hopefully. The big question is, how do you do that? It's simple. By understanding their skill set, putting them in a position to use that skill set to its maximum ability. And what better player to talk about in regards to terrible usage than KaVontae Turpin, the most criminally underused player amongst all of the criminally underused players in Cowboys history. Let's get into the video. The Cowboys this offseason signed Turpin to a 3-year, $18 million extension. That made him the highest paid special teams player ever. And it was reported like that because Turpin has pretty much just been a special teams guy. He did have a career year catching the ball in 2024 where he had 420 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 92 rushing yards, and was a first-team All-Pro returner. But mainly, at least throughout Mike McCarthy's tenure here, a lot of people have just looked at Turpin as a kick returner and a punt returner because that's really all that he's done. But we've heard throughout OTAs, minicamp, that the Cowboys have been trying Turpin all over the place. Wide receiver, running back, and then also using him as that special teams player. And while using him in the backfield as a running back, of course he's going to be at wide receiver. Hopefully they're using him on jet sweeps and easy passes out into the flat, stuff like that. Actually letting him be a receiver, letting him attack the middle parts of the field, the deep and intermediate parts as well. And not just being that gadget guy. Someone that you can move around in the offense that fits in a bunch of different ways with what you're trying to do. And it makes sense that they're going to try to do this with Turpin because of the speed that he brings. Brian Schottenheimer and offensive coordinator Clayton Adams are trying to build an offense around tempo, around motion, about getting the ball to playmakers in space. And besides CeeDee Lamb, there might not be a bigger playmaker on this team. George Pickens. Besides Pickens and Lamb, there might not be a bigger threat on this team. Last year, Turpin led the NFL in top ball carrier speed during the 2024 regular season. According to Next Gen Stats, he hit a crazy 22.36 miles per hour on a 64-yard touchdown reception in Week 11. Obviously, the speed is there. That's not really what I'm getting at here. But I remember that play against the Texans. Cooper Rush hit him on a little slant, outran Kamari Lassiter by about 20 yards over a 64-yard touchdown. But obviously, the big playmaking ability was there. We just never really got to see it. And then once again, after that touchdown catch in Week 11, Ben had just 11 catches for the rest of the season. Some of his weeks went like this. 1 catch in Week 12, 4, 0, 0, 1, 1, 3. That's how he ended the season after having that play. As for rushing attempts, because Mike McCarthy did kind of use him, some of these are throws behind the line of scrimmage, but did use him as that gadget guy on jet sweeps every once in a while. But his rushing attempts went 0 in Week 12, 1 in Week 13, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 1. He had 11 total rushes after that play as well. Granted, that sounds like good numbers. You know, he's not going to be putting up CeeDee Lamb type stuff. He's not the wide receiver one. He's not the main focal point of an offense. But then you remember that Dallas didn't have CeeDee for a few games during that stretch. And this offense had 0 big play ability, 0 speed. Like, Tolbert wasn't going to get it done. You know, Ryan Flournoy wasn't going to get it done. Jonathan Mingo. And I'm not really here to hate on Mike McCarthy in this video, but that is malpractice, and maybe he deserves just a little bit. I get that Turpin isn't the traditional body type. He's not a number 1 wide receiver. I don't think anyone believes that. But when your job is on the line as Mike McCarthy, and you have nothing else, I think I'd be trying to get him the ball after seeing that play. Now, my hope is, and how this relates to Brian Schottenheimer, is that he sees what Turpin brings to an offense. The speed, the playmaking ability, what he can do with the ball in his hands in space. But the big question is, and what I wanted to answer or talk about in this video really, is will they actually do it? How many times have we heard from not just Cowboys coaches, but from coaches around the league say, oh yeah, this guy is going to be so good for us. We're going to get him the ball. He's going to bring speed to our offense. And then we just never see that guy again. He just completely disappears. It's happened too many times, countless times, way too many in the NFL. But maybe Shoddy is being serious, and this is something that they're going to focus on. So I wanted to talk about how you can fit him in as the wide receiver 3 this season and how it could change this offense. I think every single time Dallas has 3 receivers on the field, 11 personnel, Turpin better be on the field. I don't care if his numbers look like 1 catch for 30 yards in a game or 2 for 50 or 3 for 70. I don't care. Make him a threat. Make him a legitimate weapon. It's kind of like running the ball. You don't have to run the ball early in a game to establish the run. Play action can still work if you use it correctly. Now, you still have to, I'm not saying you don't have to, you have to be able to run the ball. Don't get me wrong. But you don't have to run it early in games to establish the run for that game. If you can just prove that you're viable doing it, play action on the first play of the game will still work. As long as the threat is there, it will work. And I think the same philosophy goes for Turpin. You don't have to throw him a 90-yard bomb for people to respect him as a receiver, or for him to have a 70-yard jet sweep run for defenders to start moving their eyes across the formation and getting a step behind on a play because he's in motion. They know the threat is there. The threat is enough. His ability as a punt and kick returner, what he's able to do there, is enough for teams to respect his speed and downfield playmaking ability on offense. And plenty of teams do it around the league. Some of the best, like the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, and some of the best ways that they get their best players the ball is deploying them as ball carriers, not running backs, but just guys that can break off explosive plays if you put them in that position, give them space, let them read blocks. Tyreek Hill, not that Turpin is Tyreek Hill, but the Dolphins do a great job using his speed and his skill set. And I think the Cowboys could do the exact same thing. The Dolphins, for example, they use that orbit motion where Hill goes around the quarterback and then it's a swing pass in space. It gives an already fast guy, which would be Turpin for the Cowboys, a running start away from all of the traffic with blockers out in front. It forces defenders to chase him laterally where they're not going to beat him in a foot race. And the Dolphins do it all the time with Hill. The Chiefs did it as well, and the 49ers did it with Debo, who isn't near as fast as KaVontae Turpin. The Chiefs and Dolphins also like to use their fast guys in a stack. Ball snapped, he releases into the flat, no press coverage, you flip it out there and let him work. Give him a free release. Make him hard to find when you stack your receivers. But that's a man beater. It's a way to give your guys a little bit of room to work. Let him shake off one tackle and he might be off to the races. If you want something more downfield, hit him with a little ghost motion into a wheel route, like jet sweep Turpin across. Once again, it looks a lot like the other plays that we've talked about, where Turpin motions across and he goes out into the flat, or he motions behind the quarterback and you flip it out there. But with a ghost motion into a wheel route, once he gets out there on that jet sweep, Turpin's going to turn upfield. You might have a shot down the sideline in stride for another big play. And you can make a lot of these plays look similar. The ghost motion looks just like a regular jet sweep until it's not. You can still run the jet sweep. That stack formation, you can run a million different combinations out of that, one where you're attacking every single level of the field. The orbit motion can just be a disguise. It can be option number 1. It doesn't matter. That kind of creativity is not something that we've seen. It's just not. Mike McCarthy didn't have that in his bag. He didn't have the ability to make Turpin a legit weapon, a decoy that in the backfield, jet motion, go 3 wide with Turpin in the slot or hell on the outside. It does not matter. He did not make him a legitimate weapon, but guys still are going to respect the ability to hit big plays with just his speed being on the field. I think if Shoddy and Adams can figure that out, the offense is going to hit a completely new level. It changes it that much. When was the last time Dallas had a legit home run threat? Pollard in 2022, and there were issues with how many times he was getting the ball. CeeDee Lamb is great. He's not a home run threat, in my opinion. Pickens is great down the field. He isn't going to be a home run threat if he catches the ball in space. He's going to make a lot of plays above the rim, but not a home run threat, outrun the defense. That's kind of what I have in my mind when I talk about explosive players. Lamb makes explosive plays. He is an explosive player, but when I think about a guy that the defense isn't going to beat in a foot race, KaVontae Turpin is that guy. So if you implement that kind of player in your offense, and let's say that for a moment Turpin isn't in the game, tired, whatever, you want his spot to be interchangeable, look at Jaden Blue. He can do a lot of the same things behind the line of scrimmage, and he used to be a wide receiver. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run routes. He can do all of those things as well. So I'm all for making it almost a position, kind of like the 49ers did with Deebo Samuel. Make it a part of your offense, not just a Mike McCarthy way of, oh, well, we have some cool plays for Turpin that we can run when we need a spark. No, make it your offense. Not make him the focal point, but just that decoy guy that can maybe gets the ball 4 or 5 times a game, but is still consistently out there, consistently a threat, making the defense think, and eventually those big plays are going to open up. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Dallas has been using Turpin in a variety of different ways. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that Brian Schottenheimer, Clayton Adams, and whoever else. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.